Welcome back to everybody to the EGFC. We are here for our final match of the night, but before we get into it, Hawaii versus Montana, we have a big special announcement. As the victory from George Washington University over William & Mary, it's a big one, and it's a wedding present from the team to their coach, because the coach of George Washington University, EDM, is getting married. So everyone in the chat, pop off for them. Very good to hear that. EDM, amazing coach, always has so many nice things to say about the broadcast and the players. So round of applause for them. Pogs in the chat, whatever. But we're getting into our final match of the night. EDM, you have a good night. Enjoy your win, because we've got one more match to deal with. University of Hawaii against the University of Montana.
Honestly, I just got so excited. I almost wanted to go ahead of you, solely because that's so wholesome. But when it comes down to this match, I'm excited to see Hawaii versus Montana. Hawaii having a little bit of a trippy history, though last week especially, I feel they've had some good shines, like a little star still bursting with fire.
Yeah, Hawaii has been more just consistently good thus far. And I think Hawaii and George Washington University are up there as the best coached teams in the entire EGF. Hawaii is the best team at composing their roster in like the order in which they send out. They're very aware of their limits in the form of the fact that they don't like to play from a disadvantage. Who does? You don't want to start off bad. So instead what they do is they send out players very early on to win. While George Washington University, I think, is very proficient in the player-to-player matchup. They're very good at sending in the right player for the right opponent. Hawaii is better for sending up a generic start, as they're sending up Pyro to start out against Meme Hack's Diddy.
They don't need to shine bright throughout the entire match. They've always been good at just shining at their own points. It's my favorite things, and seeing out the monkey. That's why I love Montana. But, I mean, they are not really getting too much. The banana eventually landing through, able to get that side, but it gets grabbed, or no, yeah, quite possibly going on to the enemy side. What a betrayal.
Now, I do know Pyro is a bit of a lab monkey from what I've been told, and they are a new addition in the spring split. Gotten a lot done thus far, and they're great with using that clay pigeon, that frisbee disc, to confirm from across the stage. So keep an eye on that. That's one of their main ways to fish for a kill.
Yeah, but, I mean, Meme is taking a considerable amount of damage, and, well, walking into the can leads to one big explosion. Not the kill, and that peanut gun can go as far as you can, but you end up just kind of flying yourself into the opponent, not working as well, though now having the banana usage, it's time for that guard, but they get caught out.
Yeah, the can, you can control it while you're up being, and so Pyro uses it to cover the recovery, and because of that nice bit of defense, they're able to get back on the stage, get the kill, Pyro up a stock.
I mean, I'm loving the usage of just the cans. That parry did shine a little, and then burst it out. Being able to get that stock is going to be feeling nice, but I mean, you're still having to try and play around, especially when it comes to these grabs. Duck Hunt, just looking, I mean, should there be more banana usage? Should there just be more punching that dog? Or should Pyro really just kind of be a little more aggressive, maybe?
Well, I feel like Pyro's aggression is as much as Duck Hunt can really manage. It's the fact that Diddy Kong does have a habit of kind of controlling this neutral. I know Diddy Kong historically does lose a little bit to just random mid-tier zoners, and I feel like that is the definition of what Duck Hunt is. However, with the fact that they're able to cover the recovery right there with the can, Diddy can't get his signature ledge trapping on deck. However, with the barrels, Diddy goes, I got some explosion cans of my own.
You know, if there's any way to catch your opponent off guard, I think it's directly to use the coconut weapon. You'll have to watch the show if you really want to get an understanding of how strong that can be, but missing out on the banana, getting hit a little bit too far. They're now even on the stocks, but getting hit with that damage, they do get the banana. Now just looking to kind of place it through, but these small projectiles have just been destroying that small banana projectile.
Ooh, look at this shield pressure. The can bouncing all around. The down smash, the forward smash, all connecting. The double clay pigeon to carry Meme Hack across the stage into the forward smash. Pyro is not letting up. This is a new level of punish game. Using the can to call out the jump as well. Pyro is undeterred in this defense, in this offense. To say the best offense is a good defense, but they are weaponizing the defense.
I mean, it's the absolute defense. That's what we'll call it. As you just look to set it up, but the beautiful up. I mean, it's as you said, you could still attack, move, even while, you know, hitting up the can. And in the end, that's what leads Duck Hunt to manage to get it out. The more, you know, eBay version of the Banjo and Kazooie showing up today.
That last stock was artful. That was like watching a juggler, well, that was like watching someone juggle chainsaws. I am not sure, like, everything that was happening, but I was able to just barely follow it. However, I know in Meme Hack's situation, I certainly would not have been able to follow it. Meme Hack was good at calling out the movement. Meme Hack was able to say, okay, I see you're having to do all this work to get the setups. I'm just gonna hit you. Like you said, the monkey just needs to go in and throw hands a little more. However, when you're not able to get in there and throw, interrupt these setups, when they actually come online, you've got to respect them. The issue is, how do you respect what you do not understand? How do you avoid what you're not ready for? You use the monkey flip to go under the can so you avoid the jump, but then you go right into the up smash. You're not ready for these traps that Pyro is laying out before you.
If there's anyone I'm an expert in, it's going to be the monkey characters, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and in my own professional opinion, which is not very good, it's just throw the banana. I very much just love that banana. I feel it is amazing when it comes to the neutral fight, but then again, you're kind of right when it comes to the Duck Hunt. Oh my goodness, what do you do?
I would tell you, but Pyro is on another level of Duck Hunt that I cannot comprehend fully. What I can comprehend is how Meme Hack is not able to comprehend it. When there is so much stuff flying around, it is like, well, to give you a euphemism you can understand, it's like a dive comp in Overwatch. You literally will overwhelm them from every single direction. There's a gunslinger attacking them horizontally. There's a can coming in from the upper diagonal. From the slightly different upper diagonal, here comes the clay pigeon. There's something from every single angle, and you cannot deal with all of them at once.
Now being on a stage like this, I mean, Meme is just looking to kind of break the distance, but gets grabbed, thrown into the air. The poor soul, the poor monkey almost gets taken out extremely early, but now the damage continues to rack up.
Ooh, and they call it the spot dodge right there by just throwing the can up on top of them. A very non-committal option that got you a lot of advantage. And you set up the can on the ground to interrupt the up B because you know Meme Hack loves to run right into you with those barrels.
I mean, as much as Pyro's been getting hit, it's just full control in this round. It's not until small little jab and the peanut forcing Pyro a little bit off the stage. The can, though, a massive just way to say don't you dare come close, even stealing the banana for a little bit longer. I mean, Meme being at such a high percentage has a less of a chance to confirm the kill, especially when a can gets kicked in your face.
You know what I said about how, like, oh, they're doing the best when they're able to get in there and interrupt the setups? When you try and run in there, though, there is a very good setup called toss out your frame one can. What, they died to that? The barrels got ripped off of Diddy's back straight into the air, and Pyro jumped into them, unaware that they were falling into a trap of Diddy's own design.
I mean, we did say Pyro Duck Hunt's unpredictable. We don't know how to go up against it, and I'm guessing Pyro is the same, though giving your little enemy or ally, whatever way you truly look at it, a bit of a hand to get back on the stage. You still set it up as you play around this can, and while they do get back onto that center stage, you just have a lot of setup time, though. A little bit of a kick, and, well, a little bit more of a side getting the banana. Meme is still looking to not really let them get that room that they want.
Oh my my gosh. There's so much going on screen. Between Diddy's projectile play, which is often enough to trip up some players, literally on the banana peel, but then Pyro with these setups, the can exploding right as the gunman fires, both of the knockbacks combining to finish off the stock? Are you kidding me, Pyro? I was told they were a lab monkey, but I was not ready for this. This is 8-on-8 violence right now.
Ironic at the finest. I don't know who to root for, the actual monkey or the lab monkey. It's just one that gives me a little bit too much love, but that banana being thrown off the edge, now they choose to move forward. Meme is so scared almost the moment they get close to their opponent, feeling like they just need to play a bit more defensive, able to get back on the coconut recovery, always going to be the brightest in my eyes, but I mean, not much room to work out in it. It gets thrown into the shield, and well, Meme is getting caught out a little bit more often now.
Oh, the gunslinger calls out that monkey flip, sets you straight up into the finisher. The duck is able to finish you off with the beat, the up air, and I would love to do some deeper analysis, but honestly, this is a set I'd like to watch back at 1.5 speed with Yakety Sax playing over it. Like, what? There were a lot of moments where I could tell Meme Hack was just scrambling. The word scramble situation gets thrown around a lot. This is a scramble situation right here. You're right on top of each other. Both of you have to pick an option. You choose to run in, they throw out the can. They understand what's happening, you do not. And the gunslinger was in play somehow there too? I don't know. But Pyro did. Pyro had full understanding of everything they're going through. They're not throwing out anything random. This is all perfectly calculated. You get the parry, but then you get knocked off, like... Okay, so they got the parry. They go for they get hit by the clay pigeon. Alright, yeah. One thing at a time. Parry the clay pigeon. Up B to try and punish. Run into the clay pigeon. They jump up to try and get the punish on the clay pigeon hit. They go into the barrels. Did they play that interaction? I don't know. I don't have the script. And I don't think they did either.
I'm gonna be honest with you, alright? I said star, you know. Normally I like to see Hawaii as a team that are very individuals that can kind of burn bright, but they're not willing to, you know, burn, you know, overuse or try to wear down their mentals. They continuously just shine. But, you know, I'm willing to just give them that props that even if, no matter what, they are just a actual sun. As they deserve that, right? The duck hunt. You know, I'm a scrambled brain, but I'm confused still. A very fun performance starting first.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good way to open that up. And 5 points on the board is nothing to scoff at for University of Hawaii. I mean, it's a little more than average, a little more than the minimum. And University of Hawaii, they are not a team of like massive point getters. They're not usually getting these like 6 stocks. They're not getting 8 points on the board. No, they build up a lead in the early game, and even if people start to make a comeback in the latter half, they always have enough of a lead that all they need to do is just play around that lead and make sure they don't drop more than a stock a game.
And I can respect this strategy. Do what works best, and well, if that is what it is, then I really can't be complaining when you have the scores to back it up. But now going into the next round, it is going to be Rodoku versus Wampa. Wampa, I do believe, and a map of PS2.
Now, if you remember from the previous week, Darth Wampa is one of the most consistent players. A win over Katsuji, who I don't think we got to see earlier. But overall, Darth Wampa's Link is just a formidable threat. They box you out. Like, actually, let me rephrase that. Darth Wampa's Link is not like the scariest threat. They're just the most well-rounded threat that Hawaii brings to the table. They don't have the strongest punish game, but they will box you out with 30-40% strings. They don't have the strongest camping game, but they will make sure you can't really control space. However, this Sonic coming out from University of Montana, this could prove interesting as Rodoku struggles to weave around this wave of projectiles that will be in play, as already these platforms are taken away from them.
I mean, Sonic, the fastest thing alive, as the trademark tends to go by, but look at that. Looking to just put a lot of bit spams, try to stop any moves from getting forward with the character this fast. Doesn't Sonic have little to confirm on these kills? And wouldn't that give a bit more control for Darth?
Perhaps, however, the control really comes down to Rodoku in theory, but the fact that Darth Wampa is able to throw out the bomb and then use other projectiles to manipulate the placement of the bomb is making Rodoku think before they move. And you don't want to have to think before you move, you want to just move and be in position to attack. So when you have to use all that extra thought, there's bound to be moments of confusion.
It's almost like watching Dragon Ball Z. You need to unlock your Ultra Instinct before anything. But a simple tracking beat is always going to do its job. But that bomb just barely missing out. And with a little bit of a shield dance just looking to mess around, the Sonic is eventually going to force them onto the side. But they both are still unable to really get that confirmed kill. It's not going to be until Darth forces their opponent on the opposite side and starts making them have to play a little bit of a shield dance.
And now, ooh, they get a trip off of that bomb? I don't think either of them were expecting that one because they both just sort of stared at each other and then reset to neutral. They're like, okay, hold on. That's not a normal mechanic. As now, Darth Wampa still struggling to find this first stock. We're 3 minutes in.
I mean, but you gotta give a lot of love to when it comes to just the patience when it comes to Rodoku. Any mistake can really cost you this stock, and they're making sure to give their opponent a lot of respect just because they don't want to get caught out by the bomb, by the boomerang, by an arrow, or even a slash. But it does seem, well, the knockback knocking you into the air is going to cost you a little as Darth manages to take that stock.
Yeah, now with a solid stock lead, you're feeling a lot better about your advantage. Stuffing out the approach with the aggressive nair, but either way, every little bit of chip helps you a ton here. The back air, though, sending you to the other side of the stage, do a rerun, and Darth Wampa, they tried to go for a bomb recovery, but the bomb was on stage, and they found themselves slipping away to their doom.
Look on the bright side, though. When you're at 0%, you're able to at least have a little bit of fun with the ranged side. However, an immediate attack does get rid of it. Rodoku is just looking for that opportunity after that bomb gets thrown on the opposite side. They make their way. Beautiful spins, just closing the distance. If Sonic just always has such good options, I think, to close that distance.
Right you are, as Sonic is able to use the homing tech to get back to the ledge. However, their use of spin dash has not been that tricky. You can see they're just waiting on the other side of the stage, picking up these arrows. They're trying to play a projectile game against Link using the arrows that land on the ground. Like, they are clearly getting tripped up. They're not sure quite how to navigate this battlefield.
It is just going to take that time. You can call this match one for information. Rodoku is still not going to be looking to go down. Taking those two stocks, though, does fall now back into this clean area. Darth is going to trip up a tiny bit, but then clean it up afterwards. Now Rodoku has to figure out what is the best way of engagement.
Engagement. That is the key right here. Ooh, getting caught by that back here. That's not the best way to start. The fully charged neutral B as well. It really does feel like Darth Wampa, they've thrown out so many projectiles that Rodoku's movement is kind of getting randomized. They've gone into just random mode. Their patterns are getting a little erratic, and that leads to you slipping right into even more of these traps.
I mean, you think that playing random works in your favor, but being a little bit predictable when you accidentally don't shield against the bomb, able to go through, able to go onto the edge, now force your opponent off of the map for a tiny second. Gets no... Rodoku. I mean, you're right, that was unpredictable. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, Darth Wampa, they don't just play this game, but the fact that they can makes it so brutal. Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't even know. They just got scooped. That's the Sephiroth special right there. Though, can you even call it scoop? I'm not entirely sure what the plan was there from Rodoku.
I'm...
Green man spin. Green man spin.
You run.
In. And they get scooped out.
Yeah, I don't think there's a plan. I think that was just sheer determination going through. Maybe... Well, they were crouched, so maybe up smash?
Crouched. Okay, yeah. I didn't see that. I think what they were going to do, they were assuming that Darth Wampa was going to snap to ledge, and when they did, they were going to ledge trump back air to finish off that stock. However, well, as you can see, Darth Wampa held down on that recovery, made sure they didn't grab ledge, and that enabled them to use that hitbox to punish the attempt at a ledge trump.
Out of all my years of watching Smash, out of all my years of playing it so casually, that was such a big brain play. And well, poor Soul Rodoku not being able to guess what was going on, most likely hit with Whiplash after that. It's not going to be having going into this matchup, at least with more information on how they want to play it. And I mean, we got to see a little bit of how that Sonic works, but at least, you know, Sonic not having that kill potential, what is that Sonic really going to be doing when going up against that?
Spin Dash is your best friend, and they weren't even really able to use it to mix up their approaches that often. Spin Dash, you can cancel it at any time. You can just decide not to go in with it, and they've never really made Darth Wampa that confused. Now they've taken them to FD, and this is confusing to me, because you've just lost most of your movement mix-ups. You're relying purely on your ability to speed across stage faster than you can react.
I mean, in some theory, Sonic can run faster than the speed of light, and the edge guarding was almost successful, so you gotta be giving some shining parts. However, it's the follow-up that matters, as we see Rodoku taking a considerable amount of damage now, having a lot of issues just to land. Darth is just forcing them into a very uncomfortable position, and as you said, even if they are having that speed, it's the mix-up that's not working out.
Ooh, there it is. They are starting to stand outside the burst range of Darth Wampa and mix up when they go in, but they're still at a deficit. Darth Wampa is still getting the better end of most of these trades, Intel.
You're absolutely right, and I'm loving the little juggles, the little mess-ups. Well, not mess-ups, or because they're definitely going planned, but with the bomb launching it in, it does seem the armor is going to last, making them safe when it comes against it, but holding that for a little bit too long, got a little bit too obvious, and the slash! Breaks through Rodoku, now being on the back foot once again.
Ooh. Now, oh, there's that spin dash. They tried to use it to cover that neutral tech, but nice timing from Darth Wampa to avoid that, landing with the Nair, a very high priority move, which means it'll beat out lesser hitboxes most of the time. Aware of that, Darth Wampa was able to survive for a long time, but not able to commit to the Nair out there. Instead, they're going to fall. It's going to be mostly even stocks for the time being.
You know, sometimes you gotta forget, sometimes you'll forget, even when you're having this control, Sonic does have that kill, at least confirm opportunity when you're off the stage, and it may be what Rodoku is going to focus more on. Might be one of the best chances when it comes down, but look at this, Darth is just going in, trying to get as much damage as possible, and even if that spin goes to win, they just don't have the room for it.
All right, now, here we go. Ooh, this is a mix-up we've seen a lot from them. They put the bomb right at Rodoku's feet, and then instead of detonating it, they jump up with a forward air and read the jump away from the impending explosion that's never gonna come. This happened a lot to Rodoku. They've got to be wary that the bomb is not always the main threat. You got to be wary above the hero of time.
Link is a threat in no matter what era you run, and it just seems that a simple kick combined with the time bomb is more than enough to be giving the blue speedster, well, a bit of issues. However, missing out on that edge, Darth may feel a little bit embarrassed, but Rodoku's got to be feeling proud.
All right, now they're just using this forward smash. They're trying to hold on to it a little more. It just adds another layer to your camping, and it also enables you to force them to approach because you want to get that one hit in. And while they were trying to get that one hit, they got 8%, sure, but they took 20% trying to hit you. That's good. That's very good. That's a good trade any day of the week. As Rodoku has the lead against Darth Wampa. They know that. Darth Wampa is not obligated to approach right now, though. Like, according to the rules of engagement, blah, 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 gentleman's agreement, you might think they do, but trying to pick up that bomb is going to lead to a rapid jab, and that is going to lead to your stock being taken. It's more or less even at this point.
It's almost like a funny story of how Rodoku holds it down, like you'll never be able to use this, and yet that's the move that ends up costing the life. The grab a little bit short, and well, while that bomb is grabbed back on the stage, it's placed in the middle, but still wanting to go up ahead. This Sonic very much just getting these hits in. Rodoku's starting to find some room to play. And is it the speed? Is it the hits? What is working so well now?
It's definitely the speed. We were talking a little off stream about human reaction time. You cannot react to when Rodoku is going to come in. Sonic just moves too fast, faster than the human eye, at least on Wi-Fi anyway, as you can see they are starting to get a little more predictable as these traps are starting to catch up with them once again. You can't outrun Fate, and you sometimes can't outrun a boomerang coming in the opposite direction. The landing nairs, though, from Darth Wampa are punishable by Sonic. As they get scooped out once again, they air dodge instantly. No! The up B to finish the game off again? This time, okay. That is brutal right there. I'm not even sure what they thought was happening to them, but they did the one thing you do when you're scared. You air dodge.
If there's anything a player does when they are scared, it's just hit the buttons, and unfortunately that does cost the stock, and it very much cost the only stock they had left in their pocket. Darth, I think you got to be feeling a little bit happy that your opponent does something very similar to yourself.
That's brutal right there. But once again, Darth Wampa catching on to the fact that Rodoku likes to position a little too close to the ledge when they're trying to go for ledge trapping. So what do? You up above the ledge. Or you don't hit the ledge at all. But either way, that hurts. That does hurt to see. And even as Sonic does go down, Darth Wampa does get the points. I can't believe that 2 games in a row they end with Sonic not positioning correctly around the up B and dying for it. That's some Sephiroth stuff.
Does it just count as like a player whiff rather than a character whiff? Is that the term we're gonna go with for now?
Yeah. I do think it is also microspacing is something that is very much lost, not just in Ultimate Online, but Ultimate in general. People just love to run, and when you are playing the fastest character in the game, you run to the natural limits of the stage, which are the edges. You don't really pay attention to how close you are to it. Unfortunate right there, but either way, Darth Wampa, you wouldn't have been in a last hit, last stock situation if you hadn't been playing well the entire time. So definitely earn that win. It's not like it was stolen away from Rodoku. 10 points on the board, well earned from University of Hawaii, as we're gearing up for our 3rd match in this series.
Yeah, and it seems even though it's the 3rd match, the pants have been pulled up. We are going to be seeing Blue Cheese walk in, going up against the captain of Hawaii, Ro. And I gotta say, lay down the information. What are we looking at right now?
Well, it's not Ro. It is Gray who is going to be coming in. Gray is Gray is the captain, and well, Gray's a menace. On the Pokemon trainer, we have seen some good Pokemon trainers. It feels like every Pokemon trainer in the EGF is just so good. I mean, Pokemon trainer is a good character overall, but in order to play Pokemon trainer, I've said the word Pokemon trainer like 8 times in the past 10 seconds, but in order to play PT, you have to have a good knowledge of all of the characters, 3 different play styles, and it just ends up being so good for your fundamentals. It is a power boost as you learn how to control these 3 different characters at once. And that is how all these PTs get so good. Now, Gray in particular, if I remember correctly, is incredibly proficient with the early percent Squirtle combos. Keep an eye on that forward tilt. Forward tilt is incredibly fast. It has almost no lag to it, so you can just combo forward tilt into itself at certain percents. It's brutal. And it leads into grab as well. Squirtle's got some great grab combos into the down air, into the forward tilt again. There's a lot of strings that can come out.
I think of the reason why a lot of players tend to really like this Pokemon trainer is, as you said, the versatility it's beautiful. I think you can really play that character and have an answer for almost anyone, and you can very much kind of mess up, force your opponent to have to change their style when you change your character. But that does leave into the weakness that Pokemon trainer can have a very high skill tier for some players. I think they debatably say that there are really good ones and then there are holy ones.
Yeah, and Gray is definitely the latter. Whew. Gray has put on some work before, and the reason we talk so much about Gray as opposed to Blue Cheese is, legitimately, it is going to be our first time seeing the University of Montana's Blue Cheese come out to battle. Now, the University of Montana, if you don't know, is actually new to the EGFC. This is our first time actually seeing, well, not our first time, they've been here for 3 weeks already, but this is my first time seeing Blue Cheese come out to fight.
And I gotta say, I'm excited. There's always that room of expectation when you're coming from a new player. Some people are really hoping that they're just going to be going in, hitting hard. But at least for me, I'd like to see how they work on adaptations more than anything, especially going on to a map like Final Destination, the FD, the strong good one. It's very flat, and I feel if there's any map to figure out a player's style, it's going to be on something where it's a little bit more noticeable, right?
Yeah. Now, well, let me play it onto you like this, right? The way I see it is, no matter the character, there aren't any platforms to jump on, so it's a little less to worry about, meaning that what you're going up against is your opponent and everything that they're working with, rather than a possible, oh, they're on the top of the edge, so my move won't hit. Rather, all right, they're directly in front of me, so how do I get my move to land? You know? Yeah, you're exactly right. FD exaggerates every single strength of every character. And naturally, it exaggerates their weaknesses too. If you have a character that's really good at punish game, then there are no mix-ups. There's no way to tech on platforms. There's no tech chases involved. You just have to execute the combo. If you're a character that's good at juggling, same thing. There's no landing mix-ups. If you're a character that's bad at landing, well, good for you. If you're a character that's bad at recovering, where do you go? Ledge or on stage? You have 2 options. There is no mix-up whatsoever. That is the struggle that you deal with on FD. And we'll see how applicable that is as we get into this match.
Does seem the Joker, they're gonna be the one to land in. And I've always been a good fan of the Joker. I've always just been a fan of Persona. But we'll have to see what they try to do going in. A lot of this, they are really just wanting to kind of look for a footsie, I think. But the Squirtle's going to be the one who lands first, going into the grab, managing to start getting those beautiful hits in.
Yeah, and these are those low percent Squirtle combos I was talking about. And as soon as you're up to a higher percent, you go over to the Ivysaur to start finishing them off. Higher kill power on this grass type. However, you've got to land back on stage to get something going. Nice little tether cancel to mix up Blue Cheese, but that might not be enough. You get the down throw right there into the up B, but that's not a real sweet spot. Ooh, but they whip the grab.
I mean, that was fairly impressive, making sure. I mean, Gray had 2 prime opportunities to kill, and yet Blue Cheese manages to deny both of them. However, it is getting a little bit more readable as they get caught out. The Ivysaur finally getting that damage in, but is the question, do you stay onto the Ivysaur, do you go back to that Squirtle solely to get the damage, or the Charizard who just can pump it out so quickly?
I think you've got to stick on the Ivysaur. You don't want to go back to the Squirtle. And there you go. Back onto the Squirtle as soon as you're at low percents. You want to get these combos. Like I said, this is what I feel Gray's strong suit was. These low percent Squirtle combos. Last time they were able to get Blue Cheese straight to 70. This time Blue Cheese playing at the ledge, so there's not really a lot of extensions you can get. And they're not really able to set up an edge guard situation either. However, the forward tilt sets up into a grab, into a forward tilt, into another grab. This string keeps continuing all the way to Arsene as the Ivysaur comes out once again.
The Persona also comes right back out, and, well, giving that boost to the character, it's definitely helping, especially just look at the reach they're able to get. Even the side attacks just managed to help out. It seems Gray feels the need to go onto the Charizard solely just to get back onto the stage, but now has a flamethrower similar to Bowser. That's going to be a big problem for Blue Cheese, especially when you just try to take some damage and your opponent just grabs you instead.
Oh, but drifting back in with that gun is going to be very hard punished with that Charizard in there. And Gray is now feeling confident going the Squirtle, even at this mid% right now. Look at this. One forward tilt, one grab. That's all they need to get that massive chunk of damage on. But these spot dodgers from Blue Cheese have been great for making sure Gray can never be comfortable going for that aggression.
And yet, Gray still chooses to move forward, loving the idea, giving their opponent that respect. Look at that grab, able to force them off. Gray is still having so much reach and options to get back on. It's not going to be too much of an issue. I think the bigger problem is that Blue Cheese's Persona is now activated, so we see Gray kind of move in, trying to get this quick execution while spacing themselves. Another beautiful grab, but the counter is eventually what catches you off guard.
Tetracron finishes you off. Now you're on Charizard to try to finish off the kill of your own. And as your opponent's wings flander and flourish, yours start to thrive. As you just drop right off with that Nair, the drop zone Nair from Gray has just been so great for catching out Joker's recovery. It feels like Blue Cheese always goes for a delayed recovery. They use their jump early. They don't go for an early tether. And because of that, Gray is caught on and they always get the gimp.
I absolutely love, I mean, Gray always lives up to their performance. And, you know, I especially think in this matchup, I think Gray basically knew what to do. It almost just felt the more that they saw how their opponent played Blue Cheese, they were very quick to start figuring out how to go against it. And I think Joker is a very strong character, and that's solely just given to the combos that the character can have. But I mean, when you're playing the Ivysaur, it basically, is it still as strong, or is it considered a little weaker now?
I mean, Ivysaur is generally considered to be the weakest of the three. However, that's like being the worst flavor in Neapolitan ice cream. Like, you're still going to use it a lot. You're not just going to leave it in the container. As you can see, Ivysaur served a definite purpose in the neutral. They tried to use it for ledge trapping a lot. It's great at edge guarding with an amazingly disjointed down air and an up air for reading jumps. However, Charizard, it seems to be Gray's favorite for securing those kills.
I mean, what can I say rather than I definitely would do the same. Charizard is a big, heavy hitter, and though has, you know, some issues from time to time, and you'll never see that flame charge come in unless, you know, it's really necessary. We're going to be seeing the Squirtle, the water-type Pokemon, my favorite of all, return into the fight. Though a little bit too slippery to get these hits in, Blue Cheese starts to set up the pace of the game.
Once again, these low percent strings, coming them all the way off, jumping off that ledge to get even more of an extension. Look, we've seen an Arsene in the first like 30 seconds of most of these games. Not going to be this one though. Blue Cheese avoids that hit for the time being, but there they are, coming out. Just one more hit.
I mean, Gray landed it beautifully. Switching over to Ivysaur now, looking to change up their style, not needing that quick damage. They're just basically looking to confirm, and, well, the Persona at least No, the recovery wasn't even worth it. You slide up. Was that frame 2?
Nah, I don't even know. Either way, here at ledge, they're gonna be poking around with these Razor Leaves. Gray definitely relying on the tilt attacks from Ivysaur a lot more than a lot of other players I've seen, but hey, it's working wonders as they're able to get that extension with the Nair into that up B. You have 66% on the board. You've gotten an Arsene out at the very least, and you smack him away from the ledge saying, no, you're not trapping me.
I think I'm getting a very irrational fear of Gray's Ivysaur. The more that I see it, I mean, Blue Cheese isn't able to get that swift kick into the air and eventually gets thrown off. Not having the Persona is going to hurt, especially because Gray continues to move forward. The recovery is only going so far. Now, with 3 stocks up, Blue Cheese is very much on the back foot, but is still not out, managing to block Gray's little jabs and vine whips.
These jump away, fade away back airs have just been smacking Blue Cheese over and over again. Finally, they get around it, only to be caught in the whirlwind of leaves. 3 stocks on the board right now for Gray. And if you get these 3 points on the board, this is borderline unwinnable for the University of Montana. Blue Cheese, you want to finish them off here. You want to interrupt this tether recovery, but a nice little downswing right there from Gray to prevent you from getting much done. That Nair on shield, though, even with the drift away, it's not going to be enough to keep you safe from the grab. Joker dipping all the way low, but again, that is how you use a tether recovery.
I absolutely agree. It shined up and it was a good moment, but that Persona, it's now gone. You're not going to be having Arsenal for a little bit longer, and your opponent is now forcing on the side. It misses out. And you said it's unwinnable, right? Quite possibly?
Nah, they would need to play literally perfect to win this. But based on the performance the University of Hawaii has put up and the players they still have in reserve, I'm not sure if that's likely.
Yeah, and I mean, also from before, that was a 2-frame, apparently. So very nice on Gray's part. But I mean, just look at it. What are you supposed to do?
Bing.
They don't know what's happening.
Boom. Yep. You see, that is what Intel called out earlier, that 2-frame. You have a 2-frame ledge grab animation in which every character, minus Pikachu sometimes, is vulnerable. That... yeah. It's very difficult to get around right there. Even when you have a, quote, invincible recovery like Arsene does on startup, you're still not able to do it. And right there, knocked away so far away with no sort of recourse, no jump. And they weren't even in position to air dodge either. There was nothing you could do to tether back on there. 16 points. The best University of Montana could do is get a perfect double three stock. They would need to take 6 consecutive stocks without dropping any, and only then would they tie, and then they would have to go into an overtime map. I have never seen that happen, but it's technically possible. 1 stock is all University of Montana has left.
I think this is, the easiest way to burn a mental out. When there are odds stacked up against you like this, I think there are some players who can definitely stand it off, but those are very few. I'm still not going to count Montana out, quite obviously, but I do feel whatever hill they are running up is incomparable to what we think it is. And especially with sending in not Christian, I just feel Hawaii, they're ready to make sure that they don't even find that point.
And not Christian has been, well, a deterrent for many people. You don't see many people 3-stock a Game & Watch player.
Yeah.
MK Leo. But besides that, no one really 3-stocks Game & Watch. Game & Watch has so many tools to just make you double think. What am I thinking of? Think twice before you move in. And if you don't read correctly what option they're going to most likely buffer out of whatever option they have just done, because Game & Watch is always going to be pushing a button, then, well, you're probably going to either get a trade at best, or a stock loss at worst.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been a big fan. Sometimes, no. I've lost a Game & Watch too many times, and I think it's all due to the F-Air and B-Air.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good uses for the forward air. Having that delayed bomb hitbox that you either have to commit a hitbox of your own to stuff out the bomb hitbox, or you have to position around it, move away. It's very tough, and that explosion, it's got a meaty hitbox. Meanwhile, the back air, like you said, it's a good horizontal combo tool, carrying you off stage with a wall of pain at times, and Game & Watch can always make it back with a combination of air dodge and parachute. They're never really that worried.
Game & Watch, the bane of my existence. You only live in one single tier. Definitely interested, though, especially for the possible matchup. Now, if there was any character that you would want to be seeing coming out of Montana, and I mean just purely hypothetical, someone that you think the Game & Watch could struggle against, who would it be?
Game & Watch's struggle matchups. Honestly, I would go for a Swordy if you were going to do anything. Characters with a lot of disjoint are able to contest some of Game & Watch's more ludicrous options. However, doesn't necessarily make it easy, it just gives you a option to contest them. I do like characters like Lucina, who are able to keep Game & Watch juggled in the air, and Lucina is infamously very good with the juggle. I mean, we saw Link earlier today able to beat out Game & Watch's down air with his up air, but that's more of a situational thing than anything else. So, yeah, honestly, I would hope for a Lucina. I'd hope for a Swordy of some variety. You know who I haven't seen in a while? I want to see some Chrom. We're going to see some Chrom at Summit with Lavish making it in from the Midwest, but I want to see some Chrom right here and now. It's been a while.
I don't think I've ever seen Ike, you know, so why Chrom? Why Chrom specifically out of all the sword characters?
Chrom is... I feel like one of the characters that most embodies, like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Chrom combos look like water in motion. They look like Quicksilver. You're just sort of flowing across the stage and carrying your opponent with you in this little torrent until you eventually finish them off with a strong side B, a forward smash, whatever you can manage. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that, like, fluidity in the combo game that you see from Chrom, as opposed to Roy, who's a lot more explosive. We did see a very good Roy earlier in Cranberry, but there's always some different stuff. But we'll see who they are bringing in from Montana here. As we're going to PS2, it's going to be the Zelda.
Let's go, dude. I like the Zelda. A personal favorite character, and that's just solely based off of the games. But how does it work up against this matchup, especially when having, you know, the fire, you have the down B, so you have a second character to help you out? What does the Game & Watch really struggle against here?
Well, one of the things you've got to watch out for is overusing those projectiles. That Guardian, the Spirit Guardian right there, can be punished with the bucket. The bucket will just reflect it right back at Zelda, but the up B out of shield will actually finish off Not Christian, teleporting them straight into the danger zone.
That was a very good stock, though the shield not really going to be reflecting too much or forcing their opponent back. They just have to look to charge it up. But now, Not Christian very much taking their time, looking for the gaps within their own attacks. And, well, Rald is more or less trying to see what's going on about it.
Yeah, and Zelda's not really a character with a lot of, like, big burst options, so when you get down aired on shield or anything like that, you just kind of have to respect it, unfortunately. As, ooh, going for the down smash instead of the up smash right there is not going to do you favors. Rald is able to get the punish there, but not for too long, not for too long. Just simply air dodging away.
Yeah, still having that setup, it doesn't last forever, and I think that could be a big, really big weakness, because all you gotta do is just wait, respect it for a little, able to come back. Nice parry, though, not having a chance to punish it. Not Christian still yet to get this confirmed. Rald is just able to rack up more and more damage in the meantime. But look at that. beautifully reading where they were going to land, shield, and smashing through it.
Yeah, beautiful stuff right there as you get the Nair combos started, but they actually use that neutral B to get right out of there. Now Christian maybe not completely frame perfect on their attempts to juggle the princess. Now Rald keeping things even, holding onto their lead as long as they can, but Not Christian is slowly clawing their way, little round hand after round hand back into this.
They do look just a set beautiful little fish just landing through. I love giving them little nicknames rather than their true. It's always going to be my little special. And wow, Not Christian is able to get the recovery. Seems that the bucket leads into a grab. So now Not Christian more stuck on the edge.
That is a tremendous bait. I called out the bucket as a way to deal with that Guardian, but you have to actually... Oh, wait, hold on. Smash checks combo into each other. You got to remember that. That bury into the F smash is probably one of the most deadly combos in all of Smash Ultimate. As there we go. We have a nice little combo starter. Rald was able to even things up now, but Not Christian getting that brief lead off of that down smash is going to be very nice. But oh, again, they use this combo breaker again and again and again. Rald, very good awareness of how they use their character.
Though the Guardian able to at least get a little bit of damage, and Not Christian is finding the room. I think now has the adaptation. Still, though, not expecting the shield just to be able to break through. Still does damage and knocks you back for a little bit. The key, managing to find through, but you are not Sora, so you got to be having a different plan if you want to be able to hit that damage.
Very correct, Azu. Now positioning on the ledge. Oh! The swordsman swing and the princess's magic all together in one burst is enough to obliterate that stock. I would love to see those percents in slow motion as we see this. Take a look at this. They reflect the chef back at them. They throw this out. Does the swordsman even connect? I'm not even sure what killed right there. Because you see the F smash, the multi-hit, and the swordsman swing. It was everything at once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the sword. I mean, Zelda in that moment has a little bit of a shorter range. I don't think it would have landed. I think it was more of a bait. You think it's not going to land, but you really don't have the opportunity to shield against it. Otherwise, it quite theoretically could have broken, and it catches you off guard. I feel Game & Watch's face is my face in that reaction. I don't even know how to feel.
There's so much in me holding back a JoJo joke right now.
I mean, I wouldn't put it against you, but JoJo works in 6 frames rather than 2.
Mm-hmm. As either way, Rald has shown that they do have mastery over this character. Whether it be from the up B confirms, the fact that they are tremendously aware of every time they can neutral B out of combos. Like, it is not mindless mashing. It's very educated mashing from both of them. But Rald, it seems a little more precision. Zelda is a character that demands precision, with all of her tiny but extremely powerful hitboxes at the end of her moves. That is what you need to keep in mind, and Rald demonstrates that precision better than any other Zelda I've seen in the EGF.
Would you say that, you know, that also is a given solely due to the fact that Zelda, their moves have a little bit of a knockback, so that Game & Watch basically could have a lot of trouble with the spacing?
Yeah, I do think that is possible. Game & Watch does often like to be in your face with those very hard to punish smash attacks, but Rald isn't going to make it that easy for you, pressuring you with these tilts and calling out any sorts of attempt at a down air with that crystal.
It's always a nice reflector as they're already getting set up, though the guard wanting to work as normal. The Zelda seems to be making those adaptations, but Not Christian is the one forcing them on the side. And Guardian, while being able to get into the hit, is going to be the recovery that gets the early stock and sends Not Christian back to the realm of the 2D era.
Now goes for the chef ledge trapping, but That's a nice little use of the Phantom right there. Oh, and the up air beats out Game & Watch's down air as well. I figured it theoretically did, but perfect timing from Raul to actually execute that. And they're actually able to get the forward air out of shield as well to punish the down smash. Overall, Raul is picking up the pace now that they get a feel for Not Christian's habits.
And they're taking a second looking to see what happens, and Raul is really good at just landing the air, making sure that, well, it's always going to have some form of follow-up. Not Christian, though, is still looking to just go in. Respects the the reflector for a tiny second, just looking to guard in Zelda's recovery. You just got to be a bit more cautious because your own cooking goes up against you.
That was a double hit. No, no! They get pineappled under PS2. That's rough. That's very rough. As now you're able to get the dash attack to finish them off. I don't think Raul's mental is shattered or anything like that, but bonking your head onto the bottom side of the stage like that gets anyone.
It's always going to be like one of those moments where you swear out loud, but at least Not Christian is just going to say, "Aha, you fool," and continue moving through. Though that bomb is going to be countered out because the reflector is just making sure to do its job. As the name says, the cooking is just, it's not really getting that much room in. Is Game & Watch losing value solely because of that reflector?
I don't think so. It's a combination of many things right here. The spacing, the timing, and oh, look at that. Perfect coverage. They understand the low lag on the moves they're using, so they can immediately buffer an option right afterwards. And the aggressive up Bs as well. Not Christian is throwing out panic moves at this point. When Game & Watch is scared, when a wild Game & Watch is under threat, they throw out the up B, they throw out the down air. How did that happen as I called it?
Yeah, it's almost as if you're really... No.
When they're scared, they throw out the down air. And Not Christian was under a royal barrage from Raul that entire time. Yeah, finish off right there.
Hilo, I'm willing to scream right now. It is so late where I live. The way I was expecting this to end was not from Not Christian falling, you listening to the script a little bit too hard, maybe watching the stream as we go, and accidentally just hits it a little bit too hard, falling through. Though at least the pineapple happens, huh?
Yeah, that was honestly just Raul outperforming them, outspacing them, making Game & Watch feel uncomfortable, and so Game & Watch retreats to their safe tools. Up B, down air, up B, down air. Looking like Mewtwo King playing this character. However, when you only use two tools, no matter how good those two tools are, there's not a lot you can do. I think maybe they tried to go for a ledge jump down air, optimistically, but either way, it doesn't matter. University of Montana is well and done out of this, even with that nice win from Raul. But Raul, honestly, fantastic showing. They're going to be a threat in future weeks.
You know, I agree, but you know, if you want to give Raul a little bit more love, just the fact that they were able to get the points, hurting Hawaii's own differences now, it is so important to even when you have a difficult chance at winning the matches, to still gain points over your opponent, because that may cost them issues later down in the series. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm very bad at counting. Literature was never my strong suit. We're down to the final match, right?
Yeah, we are. One last match to decide some more points on the board, which is very important, especially when you come in late in the stage, late in the game. You, like University of Montana did, you need to snatch up as many points as you can at every opportunity. And they're going to be sending in Colo to do it. Not Ludicolo, just Colo. Meanwhile, Cheese Brain will be the pick from the University of Hawaii. And let's see what I have for them here. Cheese Brain, Cheese Brain, Cheese Brain. They are, I think, they're not new, but it's been a while since I've seen them. They weren't on the roster at the very beginning, that I can tell you. Oh, they're on the Terry, okay.
Ooh, now, I really like Terry. I think Terry's a really unique character. Well, one of the really unique characters that was added into Smash, and definitely not one that was on my list to add in. But what makes players really like Terry? Is it just the inputs that kind of work?
Yeah, Terry is definitely one of the, like, not a Shoto, but a Shoto-like playstyle. However, it's not as reliant as the very tight combos. Instead, it's more confirms. You hit a jab and you have creativity. You can go, well, the classic jab, power dunk. You can jab sometimes into a down tilt, into, say, the burning knuckle. Or you can jab, and if they're a floaty character, you can up B. It's all these big damage-getting opportunities, racking up percent again and again and again. And Cheesebrain is going to be looking for those fast moves that confirm into the heavier hitting ones. That's what I mean when I talk about confirms all the time.
But doesn't that technically mean that Terry, as a character, doesn't really have the character that you could look at them trying to counter or be really good against? I think it's similar to kind of how Ryu and Ken works, and as much as I love those characters, I feel that it very much is intensive on the player themselves to be really good. Is that more of just me putting too much expectation on them?
Yeah, I really think the thing you've got to be wary of is execution. Anyone can run up and jab as Terry. Are you going to be able to jab and then get the true input right afterwards? That is the question. As Colo on the Young Link is a character who is incredibly powerful that we don't get to see. A fast, effective zoner that's also focused around confirms, but they get their confirms off of literally anything. Boomerang, you can combo that into fair. Bomb into fair. Arrow into fair. Anything you want into pretty much anything else. You've got to watch out for this character, as they're going to be controlling a lot of space and then taking it away almost instantly. But Cheesebrain, if they catch you slipping one time, then they're going to find the opportunity to finish you off. Jab, power dunk, not quite enough yet.
I mean, we already got to see how the adult Link worked from before, and the Terry already shining through the projectiles. While they are a tiny bit of a hindrance, it's just looking to move forward, having to drop that bomb so they don't have to worry about too much. Colo still gets the grab, looking for the air, and managing to land it, but the confirm is what matters the most, and the go is now built.
Oh, yeah. And with that go comes the power geyser right there, finishing them off. And now you've got to deal with go again. If they get one jab, it can go into a down tilt, into another special input right here. But they did a little too low on that recovery, and Cheesebrain is going to lose that advantage for almost nothing.
I mean, Cheesebrain, though the name may imply they're not thinking, every move they're making is very calculated. Though, just some quick jabs are going to be a major issue. Cheesebrain is still setting up, and look at that, beautifully dodging the boomerang. That was a little clean, if you ask me.
Clean indeed, as now at this point, Cheesebrain is finding themselves juggled quite a bit, but they're able to make it up with the little openings they get. One messed up recovery, that's another 20% right there. Cheesebrain now on the tech chase situation on the platform. Ooh, the weight right there on the roll in. That was the last option Colo expected, and it worked out for the moment, but now you're getting juggled again. Go is online. You can see they wanted them to do something unsafe on my shield, but you're not going to give it to them that easily.
My goodness, there was 3 projectiles on the screen at a second, but it seems that the go just lands through, taking that stock. Colo it still has a very good chance at confirming this and is already looking for it. The swipe's just ending through the shield, but I mean, as you said, the go is still up from before, and I mean, what can lead into this?
A down tilt at ledge could be death, or you could just finish them off, set them up in a tech chase situation right there. Cheesebrain, where do you go? How do you play carefully around this? Catching the bomb, you confirm. You set it on the platform, and Colo falls for their own trap, but the down air falling actually does trip up Cheesebrain quite a bit. You're able to get the up smash. It's even stocks, but you are at kill percent.
That's not going to be feeling too good, though. Your opponent, unfortunately, well, for them, they're not going to be able to land it through. Cheesebrain just barely missing out on these kill opportunities. Colo still having to get back on the stage, is working at that slight disadvantage, but we can use that boomerang to be a big distraction. Throwing it down, blocks through the shield. That bomb having to just be thrown in. Cheesebrain looking to space themselves very carefully, but is very much looking for that precise hit.
Ooh, missed tech on platform, but that buffered get-up attack is going to help you escape for now. The burning knuckle, that was a scary situation. You need to find this last hit. They try to pressure the shield with just their presence alone, but it's not enough. You need to find another way in. The power geyser, it's also not enough. You're not able to slip off the edge of that platform. And look at this, Colo's being so elusive in the air. They're so slippery, you can't find them. Try to drag down with the fair. Not gonna connect quite yet, but look at this. Intel, they're just unrelenting with this movement. Colo is clawing their way back into this.
I mean, and Cheesebrain very much is looking to get that go up. It's always been helping, but in the end, it's just going to be one good old rusty shoulder after the up air. Punishing and, well, getting out that victory, but that was extremely close, and I think the Tunic was kind of getting in for that Sonic kind of feeling. And you were talking about that movement. What about that makes it tough for Terry?
Well, Terry doesn't have, like, the best, like, big anti-air tools, so when Young Link is just sort of bopping all around, dropping bombs around you, you've got to respect it. If the only real way to call it out is with that up B, but if you miss, then what's gonna happen? You're just going to die. However, you're not gonna miss those. Like I said, anyone can play Terry and just run around and jab. Some people can play Terry and run around and jab, power dunk. Not everyone is going to be hitting those confirms consistently every time they get the jab. Cheesebrain is.
Man, you know, a question wanders on to my mind, and that's we haven't called the KO ability a comeback type move. Does it count as one?
Yeah, definitely. When you're down, it is brutal. And I would say, honestly, I would say that how do you even phrase this? Go is terrifying for trying to come back against, because if you mess up at 0%, you might just take 80.
I can see, but they are still looking to push in, taking a look at that 59%.
Oh!
That's
diagonal spike. That was beautiful on that nair, finishing them off in style and fashion. Now you're down a clean stock, and you get the down throw. Not going to follow up into the up air for now.
I mean, they are now leading the pace of the game. The platforms, are they causing an issue for the Young Link, especially with, well, more of the Terry having the, I think, movement to kind of break through it very easily.
Yeah, it does feel like Colo on this Young Link has realized that this safe zone between these two platforms is safe. But when they land after jumping around, that is when Cheesebrain is getting their punishes more often than not, as the dash attack once again send them off. Ledge trapping, but you're not able to find a true punish right there. Jab, power dunk. Is that enough to take the stock? It is. Cheesebrain on the course, on the warpath for a 3 stock.
And I mean, they're leading it all right. At 73, you talked before about how this Young Link is really good at that those confirms, and especially leading into these attacks, but the Terry pace has just moved in, especially with that parry. That just always manages to catch me by surprise, but the bomb able to lead into that damage. What do you do against a character who is just moving like this?
Well, Here's the issue. Young Link, you need to find a way to actually confirm your projectiles into more than just a projectile hit. When you hit before when you end up hitting those fire arrows, you gotta find a way to confirm them. Like Terry is confirming off of these jabs. Wave landing on that platform, they wanted something more, but they're not able to confirm it quite yet. Rising tackle, gets them off ledge. Can you get any more?
I mean, they're looking for it. This go is absolutely terrifying. Could possibly lead into a kill confirmation. Look at that. Bear not landing into it.
Gonna be it. The final move of the game is going to check if you're okay. And Young Link, well, no, they're going back for some moo moo milk. They're out of here. That'll be University of Hawaii winning in styling fashion. After all of that, falling out of that upbeat, it was a death sentence. They almost just drifted towards Terry in the end there.
I mean, for a match that ended off, it just had to be a 3-stock. Hawaii were just prepared for it in the Terry performance. It definitely made me feel the mechanical skill when it comes down to these players is going to shine, especially with that. My goodness, can I call that a spike technically? It didn't go directly down, but...
Oh yeah, that was definitely...
It went down,
spike.
yeah.
You call it a semi-spike if you want, but come on, there's no way most characters are coming back from that diagonal angle, no matter what they do. Young Link, even with the best bomb recovery in the world, you would have had to think ahead for that.
Yeah, and, you know, Donkey Kong, especially, you know, having 3 counters, that's just me wanting to throw in, not counters, whatever, managing the show up. I just wanted to talk about Donkey for a little bit, but 22-5, Hawaii. Once again, showing up, and it's as I said, little stars that continue to shine bright and then burn. No, I really feel Hawaii continuously stays strong, and every player has a moment to look different. I can't really say that anybody truly showed up. But Montana, they managed to ruin what could have been a perfect streak.
Yeah, overall, University of Hawaii, they were looking strong last season. They were looking strong even before that, but it was always a little iffy. They could get upset, but now they've managed to fill these gaps in the roster, and their players are looking even more practiced and very high hopes for where Hawaii is coming next. So we are going to go to a short break. We're going to ask them again about this. We're going to get an interview with Darth Wampa, so don't go anywhere. EGFC will be back for our final piece of content of the night in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the EGFC. We're here with Darth Wampa from the University of Hawaii Esports after a pretty dominant win over the University of Montana. How you doing after that, Darth Wampa?
Doing pretty well.
Okay, that's good to hear. And I do have to ask you in particular. You had a, well, I won't mince words, a little bit of a grueling set with that Sonic, but you were consistently able to clutch it out in the end. So can I ask what your mentality was overall in that set?
So my mentality in that set is pretty much the mentality I have in every set I play, which is that I always play with the acceptance that this might go to the full 7 minutes. So like if I have to go full 7 minutes every match, like that's just fine. And I'm okay with that. You know, I play a bit of a slower style. So this fact that the Sonic, especially on game 2 on FD, he was playing a lot more defensively and camping a lot more. And like I'm perfectly okay with that. And obviously it worked a little bit more to his advantage in some of the stocks, but that, you know, it is what it is. But you know, the important thing there is just to have the patience to look for your openings and not to try and force something.
That's a really good insight. So, you know, getting a bit more into the brain, at least from how you've been playing and especially going up against so many different variations, what has been at least one of your favorite matchups as a Game & Watch player?
They're the Link.
Oh, the Link. Listen, don't worry about it. I get confused easily.
You know, there's a bunch of different players. I'm sure you've done dozens of interviews. You can be forgiven for making one set. But in terms of to answer the question as a Link player, good question. So my favorite matchups, I haven't actually got to fight this in EGF yet. My favorite ones are characters actually like Olimar, because they allow me to, they force me to really think about what I'm doing and choosing my options very well, while simultaneously still allowing me kind of to play my game. So Olimar, typically a lot of people don't like fighting him because, oh, Olimar just shuts people down, you know, he's very defensive, so he turtles a lot. That's actually how I want to play. So it kind of invites me to do so, but I have to do so very carefully because Olimar is a better defensive character. So he forces me really to choose my options, think about every choice. What choices are they choosing? Keep track of the Pikmin order. For Duffun, it's what direction is Can facing, which gun.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to throw the Frisbee, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting to hear. I wish Septilence was here to see it. Septilence, Olimar main, loves Olimar, but either way, that's kind of interesting to hear that you like the like Otis to be on you, but you like it to be difficult. And I think it's cool that you all like a challenge like that. Would you say that's like just a part of your team mentality? You like a challenge, you like it to go down to the wire like that?
I can't speak for the entire team. I know a lot of the players here in Hawaii, they love being able to play their game. So like, I know my pick for like enjoying fighting with Olimar, such is not exactly a popular opinion, but like everyone here is fully willing to take on the challenge. They're willing to like take on this extra burden to like, I'm going to learn to play the game better, while simultaneously kind of wanting to have, I think Bobby mentioned this a little bit last week, like they want to have fun while getting better. So that's kind of the mentality of the team, is like playing our game, but playing it smart.
I definitely see that then. Yeah, you know, at least for me, when it comes down to the last questions, I'm quite curious, you know. Hawaii, they look strong. Is there any team that you know you're going up against in the future that you're really excited to kind of go up against?
I'd have to pull up my schedule again real quick to see exactly who we're playing again in the next, at least for this semester.
Well, instead of that, I am kind of curious. I am kind of curious. As we're approaching this like sort of spring break, spring split, this midpoint, who would you say, like from going from the beginning of the season all the way through, is your most improved player? Like, who do you want to shout out as like they have been climbing up in the rankings?
For UH? So it's hard to say because I was a new edition at the start of last semester. So in the fall split, I was a new edition. So I didn't really get a chance, especially during COVID, to kind of see every player kind of where they started. So that's kind of been a little hard. But that being said, obviously I've had some chance now to play with them. And I've actually been really impressed with Not Christian, our Game & Watch player. he at the start he was kind of just more or less a standard Game & Watch player for that sense. You know, he knew kind of what he wanted to do, but like he still felt somewhat uncomfortable. And especially this semester now, I feel like he's getting a lot more. He still has a little bit to learn, like as everyone does. But like he's definitely grown a lot in terms of like growing more confident, at least in like certain matchups, and learning how his character works.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely evident in their matchup, and they were put up against another very proficient character specialist, so they struggle a little, but it's nice to hear that sense of improvement, and overall, just very good to hear that University of Hawaii is still growing and thriving. But for now, I think we're going to start wrapping up Darth Womp, but thank you so much for your time. Thanks for another great performance, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Cheers.
And with that, we are going to be wrapping up for the night. Thank you all so much for watching EGFC. If you like what you saw, be sure to follow all official EGF content. That's what it is, at official EGF everywhere. Additionally, all of this is run by the House of 3000. They're at pretty much every Smash tournament you've ever watched. So they're House of 3000 everywhere. So be sure to check them out on Twitter, on Twitch. They're running locals like Xeno all the time. So be sure to get out there and support them, and also support us. We got Twitters too. We're doing other projects too. At KeelMilesGG on my end, and at username_Intel for Intel over there. But for now, that's all the shameless plug-in we got. It's a late night. I'm going to let you all go. I have been Keela Miles. This has been User Intel. We hope you have a fantastic night.